concepts, improvising the work of novelists. No careful planning, just all the laughs. Several states away, but on the same track. We'll improvise a tale for you, ignoring plot holes and consistency issues.
Whoa!
We're starting.
What is this world?
What's happening? So last week you saw an episode that we recorded like 3 months ago, probably.
I feel like it's been more.
Maybe 4 or 5 months ago. Who knows? We needed a review, so we thought.
So here it is.
We should record it, and here it is. We've been literally sitting here for 2 hours recapping everything and trying to figure everything out.
There's so many minute details.
I know. Especially since we improvised it all.
Yeah.
Didn't write anything down.
Nope.
Of course not.
We're gonna now. Anyway.
Do we have a title for this book yet?
No. It's for all I know, it's called ImproviNovel.
It's called ImproviNovel. It has nothing to do with the story.
It's just called ImproviNovel.
It's great. It's beautiful. Okay.
Yes.
You don't understand. It's gonna be a New York Times bestseller.
I just like the look you gave, just like, yeah. No.
You don't even know. Chapter 1.
Anyway, chapter uno. We introduced Avery and Samantha. They just graduated high school and they're all super excited.
And there's a party at the Popular Boys Cameron's house.
Popular Boys Cameron's house.
Lots of S's.
Initially, Avery didn't want to go because Avery's not one to go to parties. She's one to, and plus she doesn't really like Cameron in the beginning.
I don't think anyone actually likes Cameron. He just has money.
But he becomes so lovable.
Does he?
I mean, with the whole bleeding foot bit, and yeah.
But does he?
But Samantha convinces Avery to go because Samantha is like in love with
parties.
and Cameron.
And Cameron.
Samantha's the only one. Avery goes, which turns out to be a horrible decision.
Yeah, that decision is like what makes everything bad.
It's all Samantha's fault.
Cool. See, we should kill her off. It's all her fault.
Well, now we have to.
We don't have to.
No, we have to for glorious writing.
Two narrators.
Like it wasn't. Oh my god!
Two concepts.
Because if we.
My mind.
Cut this bit out because we don't want to reveal it to the people.
Okay. So file that away. Moving on. Where were we?
Holy helms, bells on the shelf.
This is the best story ever. Okay. So they get to the party. And
get to the party.
We introduce Rix, who was like this innocent little redhead.
We introduced Cameron first.
Introduce Cameron, who has bright blue eyes.
He has bright blue eyes.
And then Rix.
Then Rix later. We introduced Rix, Avery, and Samantha. Samantha have gone outside where there's a pool and everyone's going crazy. And then while Sam and Avery are talking, well, Sam's talking, Avery not so much, Avery hears like a roaring sound, like a wild animal roaring sound.
No one else hears it.
No one else hears it. Avery's just crazy. Rix ends up helping her get up over, and then she ends up falling over the fence.
She looks around the yard. It's all
dark. She looks around. It's very dark.
There's no lights.
It looks like there's no lights. There's this gigantic tree over on like the backside of the yard. And so she's like looking over at it, and she hears the roar coming from it again. Like she hears it sounds like it's coming from the tree.
The tree is growling at her.
And in that moment, she decides not to investigate and instead decided to climb back up over the fence. But when she calls for Sam and Rix, there is no response. So she turns around and she looks and she sees bright blue eyes peek around the corner. And this large shape
figure. Yeah.
So she bolts. she does what any commonsensical person would do and bolts the other way towards the front of the house. She gets to the sidewalk. She realizes that all the houses on the street are gone. And it's just the house of that backyard.
what is happening?
I better just go home. She gets tackled by the bear, and then she realizes that the bear has like the same bright blue eyes as Cameron does. And like
And
that's
she's
the moment.
screaming.
She's screaming,
That's the
and
end
then
of
she
the
passes out.
chapter.
Chapter 2!
Chapter 2.
Avery wakes up, but she's no longer on the street. She is in Cameron's house again.
She's back at the party.
Sam's there. She's super fucking worried. Cameron's there. And in that moment, she realizes that Cameron's eyes and the bear's eyes are
exactly the same.
And then so she does what any normal person would do and accuses Cameron of being a bear.
She's not crazy at all.
Not in the slightest. You're a bear. You're a bear. Why don't you turn into a bear? You're a bear.
Yep.
You're a bear.
So then Hugh shows up. And he's like, look, I'll take you home. You're obviously stressed. Whatever went down, it's fine. You're drunk. Whatever, I'll take you home.
I don't drink.
Shut up. We're introduced briefly to Barry as he's coming into the party, but we only see a glimpse of him. He's just like this big guy, and he's quiet.
Yeah, so Avery freaks out when she sees him. She's like, it's a bear!
You're the bear!
Basically drives him home, but they both had to sit in the back seat because no one is allowed in the front seat. So Avery calls it the bear seat and says that it is reserved only for the bear. Get back to Avery's house, essentially, is the big deal. And then Avery and Samantha have a fight, essentially.
Basically, Avery was trying to convince her that she saw a bear. And then Samantha's like, you're crazy. And she's like, I'm not crazy. And it's hinted at that Avery might have had some mental health issues in the past. Or was it Samantha? One of them had mental health.
No, Samantha had, she had tried to kill herself before.
Yeah. So she's kind of sensitive to that stuff. So they had a little tiff. Samantha walked out, and then
Hugh picked her up because Avery
it was like a few seconds later. Yeah, Avery's like, I'm sorry, and then sees Samantha get into the car with Hugh into the passenger seat,
which is the bear seat.
What?
And then chapter 2 ended.
Chapter 2 ended. Oh my god! Then what happened? Chapter 3 happened.
Chapter 3 happened. So Avery stayed up most of the night trying to call Samantha.
No
answer. To no avail. The next morning. God, I'm a hot mess right now. I'm just throwing pens everywhere. Next morning, doesn't Samantha call her, or she knocks on the door or something like that?
She shows up in the same clothes as last night, and they're all wet.
They're wet.
And she's freaking out.
Yeah.
Because Cameron kissed her.
Yep.
And
she had a drink.
She had a beer.
A beer.
But it was a light beer, so it's like it doesn't affect you.
It doesn't work at nighttime.
It doesn't do anything like that. It was light. That means no alcohol, right?
Did he seriously tell you that?
I mean, yeah.
Avery's like, I can't deal with this right now. I gotta go to work. Oh, this is also when we meet Avery's dad, who...
Yeah, officially.
Yeah. He plays MMORPGs, and he's a nerd. And he's adorable, and I love him.
Great.
His name is Wesley. He's a rogue demon hunter. What's a rogue demon? Stop referencing Buffy. We should do that.
Angel.
Okay. Same universe.
Avery gets to work.
Yeah, Avery goes to work where we meet Mr. Alexander, who looks like Legolas because he has really long, really platinum-y blonde hair and really pretty blue eyes. So they do a lot of Lord of the Rings jokes together.
Yep, it's adorbs.
Normally Avery's like, what do your elf eyes see? And he says something weird, like...
Crows.
Yeah, crows. Or sometimes he'll be like, there's a book on the floor. Because Avery works in a
dirty glass.
A dirty glass.
So they work at a bookstore / coffee place, so he cleans glasses a lot, so I'm sure that would annoy him.
During their entire conversation, he's just cleaning glasses.
Just this motion. Watch the video.
That's the entire time. He's like, don't even ask about my night. Just
So how was your night? Shut up. Bears.
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 The bears? No, just bears. Actually, a bear.
Bears.
And Rix shows up.
She's ringing him up, and he basically buys every book on bears that they own at the store.
So she's like, okay. And then she notices. After he's acting all weird and buying bear books,
Yeah, a keen observation
is
that
his neck.
Rix has a tattoo on his neck of a bright blue fox.
And it's the same blue as Cameron's eyes and the
And the
bear's eyes.
And Hugh's hair. By the way, Hugh has blue hair.
He has a blue streak.
Yeah.
It's like the same blue. So she's like,
I don't like this color anymore.
Second.
Wait a second. I just want to get fucked.
That's not what she says at all. I apologize. I'm gonna have to put a warning on this. Lots of inappropriate references to other things.
You know what? Just
Barry, leave it in. Leave it in.
Barry, leave this in. Okay.
So that's the end of chapter 3. And what comes after chapter 3?
25.
We went over this before we started recording in front of the lovely people. What comes after 3?
4.
Good job.
After the glorious conversation with Rix, Avery goes again to have talk with Mr. Alexander because she's just having a shit day.
Yeah, and they talk and stuff because they're
They
buds.
talk. They're buds. They're besties. Besties.
She's just like, all these weird things are happening. I don't understand boys. I hate parties. What is happening to my life? I graduated high school and everything's just falling apart. Like having a fake fight, you know, like friends do.
You know, like fake fight.
You see crows. Well, I don't see crows. Blah, 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 blah. Probably something like that.
Yeah, probably so. Like, are they taking the hobbits to Isengard, or they're taking the hobbits to...
No, psh, I thought we were friends. And then Mr. Alexander, as she's turning to leave, is like, you don't even know.
And then it's like a fan blowing.
But Avery doesn't hear that.
Yeah, no. But Avery leaves, and while she's walking home, she bumps into Hugh.
Who's carrying some groceries.
Like, physically bump into each other. Remember
And then
that
she's
part.
just like, watch it. And he's just like,
Uh.
No focus on what's happening. And like, he's obviously worried about something, but she doesn't care. They just keep moving on.
Yeah.
So they keep walking. It's just like, whatever.
Doesn't she call him a dick in that moment? She's like, dick.
And he's like, yeah. And then they walk away.
Pretty sure she asks about the bear seat and Samantha.
It's just like, yeah, I picked her up, whatever. She wanted me to, so I did.
But she sat in the bear seat. And he's just like, what? Avery continues on home. And Samantha's waiting for her because Samantha is like Patrick Star from SpongeBob, who just waits for SpongeBob to get home all day.
Yeah, Avery like mentions like all the blue stuff and the bear stuff, and then Samantha's like, "Oh, there's this thing on the news about a bear."
Isn't she like, "You're not crazy" or something
You're
like
not
that?
crazy. Look.
Yeah, like she was excited because he's not crazy because they
And
like.
then she explains that there was like a bear that escaped from the zoo, and that's probably what you saw, and it was like this whole big thing. So you're
But
not
then
crazy.
Avery is like, no, because that bear doesn't have bright blue eyes.
And Samantha's just like, no, you're not crazy, stop! Because of all the blue stuff, Avery's like, I need to talk to Cameron.
Yeah.
He's the one with blue eyes.
And like
know
clearly
it
he
was
has
him.
something to do with the bear thing.
They go over to Cameron's location, but Cameron comes down, takes the girls outside, not out.
I mean,
Look,
yeah.
I need to talk to you. But Avery's like, you need to like do something with Samantha so that she calms down. So Cameron like kisses her on the cheek and then takes Avery out to the backyard and is like, look, how do you know? Like, what did you see? Like, how much do you know and stuff like that? Like, what's wrong with you type of thing. And
Yeah,
just
like doesn't he ask exactly like what's wrong with you? Because
yeah.
like
She's just like, what are you?
feel
You're the one with the blue eyes, Mr. Bearman.
Mr. Bearman, all right. Everyone just has those like shitty portable fans.
Just like slightly, just like doesn't do anything.
Yeah,
So
Cameron
that-
starts questioning her.
But then
But then
Avery
she
starts
said-
questioning him. Okay, not here.
Yeah.
And that's the end of the chapter.
Yeah, God.
Chapter 5 is
What?
Oh, basically, chapter 5, we figure out boys have powers.
Mind fuck.
Cameron can turn into a hawk. Hugh can turn into a cat with a blue ear. Rix can turn into a fox. And the new guy, Barry, is the bear. And they're all just like, and they all have something blue about them.
Mm-hmm.
Cameron has the eyes. Hugh has the blue hair. Rix has the tattoo, and Barry has a blue pinky fingernail. It's the same exact blue. It's just it's not even painted. It's just permanent blue.
That's the same with like Rix's tattoo. He didn't get it. He just has it.
He has it. I imagine it was just like this blue blob, and then he got like the fox over it. That's what I imagine would happen.
Yeah, it's like a blue birthmark, and he's like, I could turn into a fucking fox. I might as well
just make it a fox.
Did you make this a fox?
And like the guy at the tattoo place is like, did you just get a blue blob tattoo? He's like, no, it's just my skin. What? Is this a fungus? I don't want to touch it.
What world like he just comes in like, listen, I need a guy who's not gonna ask a lot of questions.
Oh, so you want Dale. He's in the back.
Oh, Dale? Yeah.
He asks no questions. He hates questions.
He's a mute.
He can't answer a question. It's great. Dale.
Hey, Dale.
Dale just exists in the universe now. He's just this mute tattoo artist.
But yeah, so Avery learns that they can all change to animals, which is why she saw the bear. So by the way, they're explaining this all to her in the backyard of the house where she saw the bear.
Cameron owns the house next door.
Cameron owns it.
He has that much money.
Yeah. Like, his parents don't own it.
He does.
He owns it.
They don't even know that he has this house. It's just this empty house that he owns. Because it's Cameron.
They don't know where it came from. They don't know why. It just started happening very suddenly, just out of nowhere.
Even, like, Barry just moved there, and, like, it started happening to him.
But during this conversation, Avery finds out that their kisses are magical.
Magical lips.
And basically, whoever they kiss gets kind of a distorted memory because the guys use their memory of the people to basically...
They basically take your memories and what they're trying to influence on what they know of you, and it, like, gets jumbled into what they need you to forget. The reason that Cameron's like, we have to explain, like, what's going on is because it's not working on Avery quite that well.
No. And this is when Avery realizes that she was kissed a whole bunch of times.
And that's why everything was weird with the bear thing. Like, that's why she thinks all the houses disappeared on the street. It's just like her memory was just, like, all messed up.
And she's completely grossed out. What? Well, how many
of you kissed me?
And, like, we all had to do it at some point. That's why they told that. And that's why Samantha has kind of a weird...
That's why she's acting weird, too.
Yeah. I think Avery yells at them to fix Samantha. I think.
But he sends Hugh to fix it. And they come back out to the car. And Samantha is now infatuated with Hugh and thinks that it was Hugh who kissed her in the first place. So now they're dating.
Yeah.
And Hugh
is
just excited.
He is just ecstatic. Ugh.
Avery goes home with all this in her head.
Yep.
Gets home. Gets to the front door.
She hears yelling inside of her house. Here's her dad. And then she realizes it's Mr. Alexander as the other one. In her house.
What's happening?
Talking to her dad. Can you imagine the nerdy references? But then all of a sudden there's this blinding white light in what chapter am I on? 5?
5 ends.
5 ends.
Chapter 6. So chapter 6 is a big reveal / info dump.
Yeah, it's a big info dump. Unfortunately, it is an info dump, which sucks. But
the information of the dump is interesting.
Yeah, it's pretty big. It's a pretty big deal. Avery wakes up in a carriage. It's a carriage, like a proper carriage that you see in like
from fairy tale land.
Yeah. And sitting across from her in the carriage is Mr. Alexander. But he's not wearing his usual sweaters, and he doesn't smell like coffee. He's wearing like proper armor and like nice like princely like clothes, but he's not a prince, he's like a knight. What is happening? Am I being punked? Mr. Alexander's just like, don't worry, you'll be home soon. And what does that mean? I was home. The carriage has stopped. and Mr. Alexander is helping her out of the carriage. And she's at a castle, a giant, like, crazy freaking castle. Yeah, tons of turrets, tons of them, just billions. They get further into the castle. They come to a very gigantic throne room. Sitting on top of the throne is a very majestic and beautiful woman who looks alarmingly like Avery. Hint. Hint.
It's her mom. How, you might ask? What's next?
Spare you all the details. If you really want to know, like, all of it, there's a chapter of it.
Just watch it.
It's called Layering. That's the name of the fairy.
Basically, sex slavery. Moving on.
Fairymen, as I'm putting it in the lore of the world, fairymen aren't very good at producing heirs. They basically have some issues.
They have sperm issues.
Yeah, yeah.
Their penises don't work.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys.
Like,
don't want to offend any fae out there. But I'm sorry.
Sorry if your penis doesn't work as well.
Obviously, it's our fault.
They're not sterile. They're just, it's harder for them to conceive, essentially.
Slow swimmers.
It's the same way for women as well. It's just harder for them to conceive stuff. So it's very common for fae to kidnap humans in order to try to produce an heir.
Because humans have more fertile bodies.
Yes, exactly. So fae kings will kidnap males, and then female humans, and then fae queens will kidnap males. And like, but the thing is, they can only be, they willingly have to come, essentially. They willingly have to come.
No. Moving on. Cut it off. Barry, cut this out.
They have to willingly travel to the Fae world. That they sign a contract that's like you could come, like you can travel here, like stay here for a week, and then you can go back and or whatever. Because it is revealed that humans cannot stay in the Fae world for very long.
Or they die.
Yeah. So that's going to be revealed in later chapters.
But I told you now.
It's
okay.
Avery's mom stole Avery's dad, and then
Made Avery.
After Avery was born, he found a way out, which we don't know yet. Now Wesley manages to survive the 9 months.
Survive for 9 months, and then because he's been there for so long, he knows how horrible it is there. So takes Avery out of that.
Basically, kidnaps Avery out of.
And goes to Earth.
To raise her as a normal child. At the end of it, Avery is asking Mr. Alexander what's happening, because Mr. Alexander's taking her to a room, and she's just asking him to like get her out of there. Why is he doing this? I thought we were friends. And Mr. Alexander tells her that now that she's stepped foot on the land will not let her go.
Yeah.
And then chapter 6 ends. Chapter 7!
Chapter 7. Avery wakes up again.
In this very plush bed, in this very fancy bedroom. It's just clearly meant to be her room.
A bird shows up.
A pretty little bird.
Who's Cameron? So Cameron shows up as a hawk, goes back into his own form to prove that it's him. Like, hey, look over the balcony, and then like Hugh, Barry, Rix, and Samantha are there. Basically, I went back to your house to like apologize, and they were with me, and there was this light, and now we're here. She basically climbs down over the balconies, and through it all, Cameron gets injured by one of the guards that sees what's happening, so he gets injured in bird form.
Yeah.
To like the wall surrounding the castle, and they have to get over the wall, and that's all hilarious. But they get over the wall, and then they're running. They finally get to some trees, and they're running. And
they climb some trees.
They climb up a tree because Cameron is injured. He like.
But they also hear guards coming, so
guards coming. Hear the guards.
They mention the kingdom towards the south because they mention that they're heading southbound. They're southbound. And there's a kingdom directly south of Avery's mother's kingdom, ruled by King
Camille.
Camille, there it is.
Camille.
I wanted to call him King Caleb. I'm like, that's not.
No, that's not a thing.
One of the guards mentions that if they end up getting to that kingdom and getting King Camille's help, they'll never see Avery again. So they're like, that's our best bet.
That's where we're going. It turns night. They climb down. Cameron has his
night.
foot. It turns night. Cameron's foot is bleeding. They get to a barn. They get inside, and they're like, "We'll stay here for the night, and then we'll figure out where to go from there."
But the chapter ends as they hear voices
coming to the barn.
Chapter 8. Barn door bursts open, essentially, and they like all scream and like ah, and frightenedness, and then they die. And
that's the real end.
No,
that's not what happens.
And there's 2 villagers. One has a torch,
pitchfork, and one has a torch.
Yes. And I'm like, what are you doing in the barn? They're drunk apparently as well.
He takes the fellas outside, and then they just start walking away a moment later. So everyone's like, "What'd you do?" And he's like,
he just wipes his mouth. And then Avery's like, ew, you kissed the weird villager dude. So
Hugh has powerful lips, guys.
very, very, very powerful lips.
So they all go to sleep, and then they get up in the next morning, and by then the like travel grogginess has worn off. So the fear has set in. There's no more jokes.
No more jokes. Just terrified.
There's no more jokes ever in the book.
No.
They just stop. Forever.
So we introduce you to Cute, the village.
They get to Cute.
And we meet Taylor the tailor.
He gets them some clothes so that they blend in.
Super sassy.
Great. Through all that, they realize that there's some festival going on, and King Camille is going to be there, and actually among the people.
Yeah, so the best bet for them to be able to talk to him is to be at that festival.
But first, Cameron needs to heal his bleeding foot. They go to Rainey's.
They go back to Taylor the tailor
and
to ask about the position. Yeah, and then they go to Rainey.
He sends them to Rainey's.
Yeah.
So they get to Rainey.
And Rainey is like the least cute thing in Cute.
She's kind of like this old hag, but with bright purple hair and bright green eyes.
She lives in a creepy fucking house.
And really long nails and she scratches herself with.
Yeah, it's weird.
She takes Cameron to the back of her shop after being weird and, heals him in a painful way because he's screaming.
But she comes back without Cameron. Cameron's still, it's eerily silent. You're slightly concerned.
Just falls silent.
Yeah. And then Rainey appears again. She's questioning them because she can sense that they're humans. They're not from this world. She realizes that Avery isn't. Avery is supposed to be there. She explains to them that her friends, her companions, will not survive because they're not meant to be in the Fae world. The boys will last a little bit longer because they have a little magical.
They're magically inclined, you can tell. But Samantha, who is fully human, is going to die soon.
She's going to be the first to die. So there's that. Is that when it ends, or
no? It ends after they start leaving, and Hugh goes up to Avery, and he's like, "Look, we have to get Samantha out first. She's priority. You cool with that? We cool." So they have a truce, and they're gonna save Samantha.
Yeah, they're gonna do it. The next chapter is the festival.
The festival?
The festival.
Oh, good. But they get to the festival, and it is happy. It's the town of Cute.
Everyone's dancing and singing and eat. There's tons of
happy.
Happy, yeah. And then Avery finds her way to the king. And she's
talking with someone, so they're waiting patiently. And they're just like, okay, here it goes. We're gonna get home. It's gonna be great.
As Avery starts talking, she's like, "King Camille, I need your help."
And he's he's totally chill. And he's so cool. He's like the total opposite of the queen.
Yeah, he's like, yeah, no, fuck yeah, let's
I'll help you home, sure.
Yeah, whatever, yeah. And then he's shot by an arrow.
In the back.
In the back.
In the heart. And he dies. So, of course, the people around blame Avery.
Yep, even though he was shot in the back, which...
Look, people are dumb. A bunch of guards are closing in, and they think it's the group of newcomers.
Yeah, they're new, they're different.
So Cameron or Hugh or someone is split up, run, so they all take off in different directions. But
yeah,
Avery, Barry, and Cameron get caught, and Avery's just hoping that Hugh can keep Samantha safe.
Exactly. So they get taken to the castle, and they get taken to this round chamber where they meet the prince. I don't remember if we named the prince. We probably did.
Let's
We just
give him a new name so we can write it down.
Prince Keith.
But since it's the Fae world, it's Keeth. Keith.
No, they have a weird letter for TH. Not naming him Keith.
Look, this is his name.
His
Okay?
name?
Look, this is his name, okay?
No. How about
Nico.
Yeah, Nico's good. I like Nico. So they meet Prince Nico.
It's Nico.
And like he's like questioning them, and I think Avery's the one who like is like appealing to him. Yeah, and she's like, "There's no way I could have done it," and he believes her because he had the common sense to realize that she was facing him when he was shot, and he was shot in the back.
Mm-hmm.
So he believes them, and basically says, "If you help us find my father's killer, we'll help you get out of here." And so she like basically is like, "Yeah, we'll agree together." So they find the killer. Maybe they can find Hugh and Samantha. And then, plot twist, guards come in, and they have Hugh,
Blue hair.
and he's alone, and he keeps saying, "I'm sorry."
And Avery's just like, what do you mean?
And he's like,
I'm sorry.
"I lost Samantha."
He's like, Samantha's gone. And that's where it ends. Samantha's dead, guys.
Yeah. Guys, Samantha's dead.
Probably.
Probably. We don't know.
Yeah, that's all we know. That's all we got. We haven't. It's been months since we've done this, so we had to just recap ourselves so that we know where to go from here because whatever ideas we had, they're gone.
Yeah, pretty much.
So basically, we'll see what they do to either find Samantha or find the assassins. I don't know what they're gonna do.
So until next week.
Chapter 10 will be next week.
We're in the double digits, guys. Wow. Do fairly well. Great travelers. Yep.